This is Achievable Adventure to Warsaw in Poland, and here's a Ryanair plane landing into Warsaw Modlin. Now, when me and John went to Newcastle, we stopped off at a service station and we were joking about saying that we're at Warsaw Modlin because Modlin is a typical shithole airport and we guessed it would look just like the service station we stopped at. Turns out the service station is in fact bigger than Modlin Airport because Modlin is such a tiny little shithole airport, and shithole airport's speciality is in the middle of nowhere, and they try and persuade you to get the overpriced expensive coach into the city centre. But local transport is actually available, but not that well advertised, so we get on a local bus along to Modlin train station. And here is Modlin train station. And here is a lift at Modlin station.
Drzwi zamykają się. Winda jedzie w górę. We now get on a train along to Warsaw Gdańsk. Isn't that confusing? Back in the days before you had GPS and Google Maps, where am I? I thought I was in Warsaw, but I'm in Gdańsk. How could I have got to Gdańsk that quick? It kind of reminds me of Brussels, Luxembourg. In Brussels, there's a little area called Luxembourg, and on the buses, it actually says the buses go to Luxembourg. And before you had GPS, it's like, where am I? Am I in the actual Luxembourg, or am I in Brussels, Luxembourg? Very confusing. So then, let's start this adventure off in Warsaw, and along we go to the first shopping centre. Just like Gdańsk, there's loads of shopping centres all over Warsaw. All of these shopping centres are medium sized. None of them are very big, but at the same time none of them are very small, although some of them are sort of medium large. All of these shopping centres are very, very posh and very, very nice. It's the Polish way of doing things. The first shopping centre I go into is Arcadia, and this shopping centre looks really good, but sadly the lifts are Gen 2s. Ugh. It is not glass. That is such a piss take. Why? So looking at this really, really nice shopping centre, there was some interesting artwork, such as Tightrope Walker. How would they suspend that? How does that not fall over? And along we go to the next lift, which is also sadly a Gen 2. And the next lift is a Gen 2, wasn't going to bother, but it's got some very interesting capacitive buttons. The lift's shit, but buttons are interesting. So then we now go along into Warsaw Old Town. Now this is what the Old Town looks like. This is the area my mum is very interested in, but I don't find it that interesting because there's not really any lifts, but it's kind of interesting to take a quick look at it. And it's all incredibly old looking, and there's lots of these passageways into buildings which look very, very creepy. They're like ultimate place to have a creepy lift, but sadly none of them actually had lifts, which is very disappointing. The Old Town does look nice, lots of old buildings, nice old roadways, and here is the centre of Warsaw. This is the area you get on all of the tourist pictures of Warsaw. Yeah, it's quite old, but it's just the Old Town. It's much better to be seen in Warsaw. So now we go along to the trams. Now the trams were actually very similar to Gdansk. But now this is a bit random. I actually went on a cheap flight adventure to Gdansk a week before a cheap flight adventure along to Warsaw. That's very random, doing 2 cheap flight adventures one week after another to the same country. But oh well, that's what was cheap on Ryanair, so that's what I'm doing. And the trams here are very similar to Gdansk trams, but I'd say Gdansk trams were more interesting in this. Because Warsaw trams, the ones that have VF, the VFs didn't sound as good. And although they run at the same speed, they stop at traffic lights so often. There's constant traffic lights all the time in Warsaw. It's nowhere near as quick as Gdansk. But nevertheless, they're still very interesting, so we go on our first tram. And they've got these really nice 1970s trams, which are the same type as you also get in Gdansk. And here is an old building. I went in quickly to see what lift it has. And sadly it doesn't have a lift. Right then, we now go along to the next shopping centre, which is Galeria Wilinska. And this shopping centre, also really, really nice. But the lifts are sadly Gen 2s, ugh. Then along we go to the train station, take a look at the suburban trains heading eastwards. These suburban trains are the same type of train I got from modelling into Warsaw. So I've already done these sort of trains, and I don't have much time, I didn't go on them. Turns out these type of trains are actually the same type as the really nice old suburban trains in Gdansk, but these ones have been very, very heavily modernised and are not really that interesting. And here is a random signal, just sitting there. Always showing red, never ever going to go green since there's a buffer there. That is very random. I've actually put an actual signal in rather than just a buffer light. So then, now we go down to the Warsaw Metro. I was actually thinking this would be a fairly smallish system, but it turns out it was an absolutely epic, awesome metro system. One of the best metro systems I've seen. So first we go on to the new line, Line 2. This is all very modern looking, and the trains are some new metro trains, so let's first take a look at these.
Następna stacja Warsaw.
And now go along to a lift at a metro station. So then I went up at this station to take a look at the trams, and it turns out where's the trams? Well, there's not going to be a tram coming along here for a very, very long time. Take a look at the tracks. Yes, no trams come along this bit for a very long time. So back down to the metro, along to another metro station. Where's a lift behind this little door area? And the whole little door area is covered in marble. That really reminds me of sort of thing you get in Canary Wharf. Very posh, but lift behind a door. So now we go along to Metro Line 1. And in Metro Line 1, there's this screen which shows you which type of train's going to come next. That is absolutely awesome. Why do I actually show you the type of train? I can't see any practical reason for it. All of the trains go to the same place. So it's not like different trains go to different locations. So I can't really see why a picture of which train's coming is actually necessary. But it's still really awesome that they've done this, because that means I can get on the really old trains more easily. And Warsaw has some absolutely epic, really, really old metro trains, and these are absolutely awesome. It's the same type of train I've run in Budapest, which have sadly now been replaced. They are absolutely epic, and the interior looks so old-fashioned and awesome, and the sound, one of the best DC resistor start sounds I've ever heard. It's got that DC sound to it, but the whole way it echoes through the train, and the sound of it just sounds awesome.
Stacja URBEX. Uwaga!
And now we go on to a modernised old metro train. These are mechanically identical, so there's no mechanical update, which is really nice, and they sound really awesome. But the front of it looks bosh, and inside it's been refurbished and doesn't look as good.
Stacja Marymont.
We now got along to the spooky metro train. This train is a really spooky sounding VF. It's quite weird.
Następna stacja Marymont.
And now we go along to a car park, and the lift in this car park is... oh no, another Gen 2, ugh. So along we go across this bridge to, oh dear, another Gen 2.
Drzwi zamykają się. Okej. Drzwi otwierają się.
And now we go to the next shopping centre, which is Galeria Polnoka. And this shopping centre, just like the others, really, really nice. This shopping centre is particularly posh, looks absolutely awesome, but sadly, the lifts are Gen 2s. That is so disappointing. And along to the next lift, which is another Gen 2. Oh dear. So then, back on the trams. Go to a lift at a tram station, which finally isn't a Gen 2, it is a ThyssenKrupp. And now I go along to an abandoned building. This building is completely, utterly trashed. It's been abandoned for a very long time, and lots of people have been in this building trashing it. This is a typical abandoned building. It's been abandoned for ages, where it's all just ruined inside. So let's take a look around this abandoned building. And I thought I was the only person in this building, and I was walking around blissfully unaware that there could be anyone else in here. So now I go along to the lifts, which are completely trashed out of recognition. All of the outside buttons are gone, and also all of the inside buttons are gone, and I wasn't able to tell what type of lifts these actually are.
Oh, that lift's never going to move. Inside, actually doors are gone. Oh, it's been abandoned for ages. Buttons are gone. Right, the other one. Fucking hell. The other one's still suspended, I think. Still suspended? Yeah, still suspended.
So then, let's walk up the stairs. Here is what one of the upper floors looks like. It also looks completely, utterly trashed. So let's carry on up and go onto the roof.
Oh dear, this is a sad floor. Ooh.
And here is what a roof looks like. Next to this abandoned building, there's a building site with some cranes which look really good. But let's go looking around this abandoned building and along to the motor rooms. So let's go into the motor room, and the motor room is also completely, utterly trashed. The outer windings of the motors are gone. All that's left of the motors is the core windings. Wow, this is in a bad state. And as for the logic cabinets, well, the cabinets themselves are still here, but everything that was inside the logic cabinet is gone. So it's just a shell left. And it was at this point things went very badly wrong, because I wasn't the only person in this abandoned building, and this is why you should never go in abandoned buildings on your own, because at this point two big heavy tough guys jumped through the window into the motor room, and they were carrying hammers. this could have gone very bad. They looked very tough and looked very aggressive, and they spoke to me in Polish, and I said I speak English, and then one of them gave me a thumbs up. So luckily they weren't actually aggressive towards me, but if they were, this could have gone very bad. It was quite obvious they'd come into this motor room looking for stuff to steal. I'm guessing they were trying to get the core windings off of the motors to go and sell the copper in them. I quickly left this abandoned building. That situation went very scary.